Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our Lambda Matrix labs, the video number 72. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We are still working with troubleshooting troubleshooting group policies, okay, and you are following the footsteps of Mr. Low van der Poel PowerPoint slides. We have stopped the last time at the group policy structure. We were discussing the physical and logical components of the group policy. We discussed the logical components. We say that the logical component is about 4 or 5 things. First of all, the GPO display name, the template files, the GPO version, the GPO status, the access control list, and the GUID or graphical unique identifier. Okay, all of this we have discussed in the previous video with AI examples and explanation. So we will go further in our explanation. If we go to the next slide, what is a GPO? A GPO is a logical object. Okay, let's say it's a container. Okay, logical object in an Active Directory and files in the sysvol folder. Okay, he say group policy object is a logical object composed of 2 components: a group policy container, this is the one in the Active Directory, and the group policy template, these are the files or the scripts and files stored in a sysvol folder. The container is the logical one, the template is the physical component. Okay, we need to store both of these objects on the domain controller. If you were to look at the 2 parts separately, it would be hard to tell that they are related through group policy. Okay, if we go there, where is the group policy object? Okay, it is stored in the domain partition of the Active Directory database. As for the group policy template, it's a collection of files and folders stored on the sys volume or the system volume sysvol of each of the domain controllers in the domain. Okay, the sysvol folder, it's in the C, in the partition C, okay, of the operating system in a certain location. Okay, and this sysvol folder, it is shared. Okay, and the GUID, okay, this is each group policy will have unique identifier. The folder will be named according to the GUID of the group policy. Okay, so these are the two. Okay, the group policy templates, which are the actual files that will be downloaded by the client and to be applied or to apply the group policy through them. As for the container, this contains the logical components of the group policy, the name, the status, the access control list, and so on. So okay, so these are the two. The group policy container, the logical component, is stored in the Active Directory in the domain partition. We have discussed this before. Also, Mr. Low van der Poel has already give us a video concerning when he was discussing the DCDIAC tool. He discussed all of the partitions of the Active Directory database. Each one of these store certain information. Okay, you can return to his video concerning dcdiac.exe Active Directory troubleshooting. Okay, so we go further. Now, the group policy container. The group policy container is a glue that ensures that all references, paths, network locations, Active Directory objects, on and so on are accounted for and correct. This contains everything related to the group policy, the location of the files, the location of the network paths. If your group policy will go and deploy software, it will contain the network location. Okay, a lot of things. So this is the logical, and also contains the group policy name and all of the logical components of the group policy. Okay, so this is the glue. Okay, or this is that contains everything related to the group policy, and it is stored in the Active Directory domain partition in the Active Directory database. Okay, now we can go further. If you go to the sysvol folder, you will see that the group policy templates, okay, or the actual files of the group policy are stored in this order, and you will see all of the folders are with the GUID of the GPO. Once you create it in the Active Directory, once you create it in the Group Policy Management Console, a folder will be created, okay, on the sysvol, the domain, then policies folder. Under it, we will have a folder for the GPO, and it will be named according to the GUID of the group policy. Okay, this small folder contains the group policy templates, which includes the actual policy setting, scripts, administrative templates, and other files used by the group policy. A GPO has a unique name such as GUID. Okay, so this is how it appears. If we go further and see the other slides, the group policy templates is the portion of the GPO that is stored in a sizable folder on the domain controller. We can see this clearly. The GPT is not a single file or folder, but rather a suite of folders and files that are used to store and maintain the settings that are established in a GPO. If we open one of these folders, you will see uh, a couple of folders, one for the user's group policy and the other for the computer or machine group policy, and you will see maybe some registry keys because the group policy sometimes change registry settings, so it needs a registry key to apply or to work with the registry, or maybe some security settings, okay, are changed or applied. This is would be through an INI file. So anyway, you will see a lot of things in this folder, which is the actual thing the client download and begin implementing it. The GPT is kept unique between GPOs, but its GUID globally unique identifier. It's unique between GPOs by its GUID. So every group policy will have a unique identifier or globally unique identifier. Not given globally unique, so I have mistaken the abbreviation. So we are get or good to go and continue with the other slides. So here he is giving us an example. If you open any group policy, you will see two folders, okay? One that stores, for example, the machine that stores all the settings that are configured under the computer configuration section in the group policy through the group policy management console. We can see that this is the machine setting or the computer configuration, and this is the user configuration. As for this .ini file, tracks the GPO version number. Okay, this is good. We have known what is GPO version number. The version number changes each time the GPO is modified. Okay, so this is the actual files. If I have already a backup of my GPOs in this lab, if you go and try to open it, here is the matrix lab, and I have I think my GPOs. Let me see. Yes, here is the GPO backups. These are my group policies. If we open it, we will see. I think this is for the domain or default domain policy. Let me get another one. If you try to go to this one, domain sysvol, I think all of this. Let me see here. So if you open this folder, GPO. Okay, here we go. This is the machine or user setting. If you open the user, for example, we can see a thing. I think this is a computer. Okay, so we can go here. We can see this is the registry. Okay, I think I need to get one of these. I think the default domain policy because it contains GPT files or GPT.ini files. Maybe let's go and see if there is one. So anyway, if you try to see the files, it will contain sometimes registry keys or .ini files containing the GPO version. Okay, you can check not this manually, you can check it to see the numbers, but I prefer it to check it through the group policy management console. Anyway, so we will continue with the other slides. So we have seen this file. I have shown you all one of these files. It's a group policy had registry setting. So if the group policy will change registry settings on the computer, you will see this file, registry.pol. Okay, with the registry setting that needs to be applied. Okay, so this is the file that will change the registry setting. Administrative templates are the category of GPO that modify the registry. If you open any group policy, you will see sections in, for example, computer configuration, user configuration, computer configuration. You will see Windows setting. You will see administrative templates. You will see, I think, another section. The administrative templates are the part that will, through it, you can modify the environment of the user or the computer using the registry setting. Okay, so this is very simple. If we go further, now we can see getting GPO to all domain controllers. So The GPOs should be replicated to all of the domain controllers. Okay, so the sysvol itself, it is replicated to all of the domain controllers. This folder is on all domain controllers. You will see this sysvol folder on all domain controllers. They should be all synced, okay, because if they are not synced, then some group policies will not be applied. You will see a lot of things happening if this sysvol folder is not replicated correctly. Okay, so we need to make sure that we don't have any replication errors. But this replication here, we see this is for I think the database of the Active Directory. If you need to make sure that so you need first to make sure that all of the logical components of the group policy is replicated to all of the domain controllers. You should use the rep admin / rep summary to make sure that the logical components are replicated. As for the physical components, which are the actual files in the sysvol folder, this command will not help you because the sysvol folder is replicated through dfrs, which is another command you can use to make sure that the sysvol folders are replicated successfully. So this command can be used to check that if the logical components of the group policy is replicated, or let's see the group policy containers are replicated to the domain controllers. So for the group policy to be applied, you need to have the logical components replicated and the physical components replicated. Okay, so if we go further and see the other slides, so here is a very good example on how the group policy is applied. First of all, you sit on your machine, okay, which may be a workstation or something. If you need to access the group policy management console on the server, you have two ways. You can use a remote desktop session, or you can install remote server access tools on this workstation and open the group policy management console from this workstation. Okay, and then you begin configuring, okay, the group policy. Then it will be stored on the domain controller, okay, in the group policy, stored in the domain partition in the Active Directory. So you create it, okay, in the group policy management console. It will be stored in the domain partition. The logical components of this GPO is stored in the domain partition in the Active Directory database. As for the physical components, it will be stored in the sysvol folder. Then after creating it, we have the client side. The client will check the group policy, okay, components through the client side extensions to define which parts of the group policy will be applied to which parts in the operating system. For example, maybe the group policy have some security settings need to be applied, so the client side extensions will define or will make sure it is the security settings or it is a group policy concerning the security setting, and then it will apply it to the security settings in the operating system. So this is the part that is very important. The client side extension, if it is not there, then we will not be able to identify which parts of the GPO will apply to which parts in the operating system. At the end, we have the engine that will make the group policy components or the group policy to be applied is the group policy client service. If this service is not running, no, the client side extensions will not work. Anything related to the group policy will not be applied. So this is the whole graph. If we go there and see here the thing here, do I have a GPO? Do I have a GPO? It will be applied when a user login. This is domain clients. Do I have a GPO? Computer GPOs when boot. We have seen this in the beginning of the lab. All GPOs are refreshed every 90 to 120 minutes. So if you need to have or to discuss this type of graph, if we take it and ask the AI tools to explain it, giving real world examples and exercises, let me get it to ChatGPT. If we go there and ask it to explain it, here I have a screenshot of it. If you go to the matrix final lab, I have this screenshot there. Let me try to see or remember where it is exactly. So we have a couple of things. Here we go. GPO. Okay, let me see. Where is the GPO? Okay, let me remember. Okay, domain GPO3, GPO, NTDS, entity sessions, report, security. Okay, we can do it simply like that. If you go there and go to the slide, we will take a screenshot, but first we need to I think we make it a little bit okay, we can go like that and uh, try to take it by the snapping tool or the snipping tool. We go like that and uh, take a screenshot. Okay, here you go, and do like that. Okay, and then we will save it, save as uh, GPO apply, and then we will save it and then ask the AI tools to explain the whole concept. Here we go, we will go there and go like this, and not to the matrix videos, we will go to the final and go to the GPO. Okay, GPO apply, here you go, and then we will tell him your session expired. Okay, let me see if we can log in back. Okay, just a moment. So I need to log in again. Login. Sorry guys for this. So you will log in and put the address and continue, and then put the password, then continue. So here we go, we are now logged in back. Now we can put the slide or the screenshot. Here you go, and then we tell him I need to have the prompt here. There is the prompt. We will get the prompt like this. Here you go. I don't remember the prompt, so I'm getting it from other AI tools. So here explain this topic. So we'll go there, tell him analyze this screen shot and explain its content, like I am a junior IT, and let's see what will be the answer. Control C, and then try to do like this, and let's go to a Claude and do the same. Here we go, we'll do like this, and let's attach the screenshot. Here you go. Then we have to GPO apply, and let's see first the answer of ChatGPT. So it's still creating the answer. If you go there, and here you go for Claude, if you go there, okay, this seems to be very okay. Now we have the answer. If we go and see uh, here the answer, okay, let's try to read it out loudly.
Analysis of the diagram. This diagram provides an overview of how group policy objects GPOs are applied in an Active Directory AD environment. Here's a simplified explanation of each component and how it fits into your role as a junior IT administrator. Key components in the diagram. 1. Domain Controller, DC, acts as the central point for managing and storing group policies. All GPOs are stored and managed here. The DC communicates with domain-joined computers, clients, to enforce policies. 2. Admin Workstation. This is the workstation where administrators use tools like the Group Policy Management Console, GPMC, to create and configure GPOs. 3. Domain Clients. These are computers joined to the domain. They check with the DC to determine if any policies apply to them. 4. GPO Types. User GPOs, applied during user logon, affects user settings like desktop wallpaper, login scripts, etc. Computer GPOs, applied during system boot, affects computer settings like firewall rules, software deployment, etc. 5. GPO Refresh Cycle. GPOs are refreshed automatically every 90 to 120 minutes for regular updates. This ensures that changes made to policies are eventually applied to all domain clients. 6. Communication Flow. Domain clients communicate with the DC to ask, "Do I have a GPO?" The DC evaluates and responds based on the applied policies. 7. Group Policy Infrastructure contains tools for managing policies, a data store on the DC, and extensions on client systems to enforce policy settings. How it works in Active Directory. 1. Creating GPOs. As an admin, you log into the admin workstation and open GPMC. You can create and link GPOs to organizational units, OUs, or domains. For example, you can create a GPO to enforce a screensaver timeout for all users in a specific OU. 2. Linking GPOs. GPOs are linked to OUs, domains, or sites. For example, you might apply a password policy GPO to the finance OU so that only users in that department are affected. 3. Policy processing. When a computer boots up, it processes computer GPOs. When a user logs in, the system processes user GPOs. 4. GPO precedence. GPOs can conflict. AD resolves this by applying policies in a specific order. Local GPOs, lowest precedence. Site GPOs, domain GPOs, OU GPOs, highest precedence if nested OUs are used. At real-world scenario. Scenario, enforcing a standard desktop environment. You work for a company where users should have the same desktop wallpaper and a secure screensaver timeout of 5 minutes. Steps. Log into the admin workstation and open GPMC. 2. Create a new GPO named Desktop Settings and configure. Desktop wallpaper, user configuration, administrative templates, desktop. Screensaver timeout, user configuration, administrative templates, control panel, personalization. 3. Link this GPO to the desired OU, e.g. users. 4. Wait for the GPO to refresh or force a refresh using peepdate/force on a target client. Common pitfalls and tips. 1. Slow logon times. If too many GPOs are applied or contain large scripts, user logon and computer boot times may increase. Use filtering or consolidate GPOs to reduce overhead. 2. Policy overlap. Ensure no conflicting policies exist across multiple GPOs. Use the resultant set of policy RSOP tool to troubleshoot conflicts. 3. Unlinked GPOs. A GPO must be linked to an OU, domain, or site to be effective. Creating a GPO without linking it will have no impact. 4. Testing changes. Always test new GPOs in a controlled environment, e.g. on a test OU or a single machine, before deploying them broadly. 5. DNS dependency. Domain clients must have proper DNS settings pointing to the DC. Without this, GPOs may fail to apply. This diagram essentially highlights the life cycle of GPOs in an Active Directory domain. As a junior administrator, practicing on a test domain and using tools like GPMC and RSOP will build your confidence in managing policies effectively.
So it seems to have a good explanation, but it didn't focus actually on very important part. I think this part is very, very critical. Okay, how the group policy is created and propagated to the client. But anyway, a good example, we can see Claude, okay, its answer, and then we can continue working with this concept. So let's continue, guys. Here we will see the answer of Claude concerning this screenshot. Sorry, guys. Here he will or the answer is, I will explain group policy objects and Active Directory from a practical perspective for a junior IT administrator. This diagram shows how group policy works in Active Directory environment. Let me break it down in simple terms. Components shown: admin workstation, top left, where IT admins manage GPOs using group policy management console. Domain controller in the center, the server that processes and distributes GPO information. Domain clients, right, the computer that receive and apply these group policies. Group policy server at the bottom, where the actual GPO settings are stored. I think he is referring to the group policy or the Active Directory database. How it works: client computers regularly ask the domain controller, do I have a GPO, shown in the blue arrows. GPOs are applied in two main scenarios: when user login, this is the user GPOs; when the computer startup, computer GPOs. Policies refresh every 90 to 120 minutes automatically, shown in the yellow note. So he is describing the screenshot in very good details. Real world scenario: let's say you need to implement a company-wide security policy requirement. All company laptops must have their Windows firewall enabled. Lock screen after 15 minutes of inactivity. Prevent users from installing unauthorized software. Instead of configuring each laptop individually, you could create a new GPO from the admin workstation. Configure this security setting in the GPO. Link the GPO to your organizational unit containing the laptops. The setting automatically applies to all laptops in that OU. Common pitfalls to avoid: GPO inheritance issue. A mistake: creating too many overlapping policies. Solution: keep your GPO structure simple and document which policies apply where. Processing time. Mistake: creating very large GPOs that slow down login time. Solution: split large GPOs into smaller, focused ones, but not that many, because many group policies, even if they are small, will take much time in processing. So you need to make balance between large GPOs and smaller GPOs. Testing. Mistake: applying GPOs directly to production without testing. Solution: always test new GPOs on a small group first using security filtering. Okay, this can be a good one. Troubleshooting. Mistake: not using GP result or group policy modeling tools. Solution: use these built-in tools to verify policy application. Maintenance. Mistake: creating GPOs and forgetting about them. Solution: regular audit and clean up unused or redundant GPOs. Best practice: use descriptive names. For example, sec Windows firewall enabled. So this is very clear. When you read the name of the GPO, you can guess its content and what does it do exactly, rather than policy one. Document your GPO changes and purpose. Use GPO folders called GPO or group policy objects containers to organize policies. This is done already. We have already group policy objects container, okay, in the group policy management console. Regular backup of GPOs. Use enforced and block inheritance sparingly. Okay, so I don't use that much these two options. Quick tip: if you need a policy to take effect immediately rather than waiting for the automatic refresh, you can use this option, gp update/force, or this command, and from the client computer's command prompt. Okay, remember, group policy is a powerful tool, but with great power comes great responsibility. Always think through the potential impact before implementing new policies, and make sure to have a backup plan in case something goes wrong. Okay, but here he didn't. You see this section, he didn't focus on it. For example, he didn't say about the group policy data store. He didn't mention the client side extensions. He didn't mention the group policy client. So I asked him, or asked the two AI tools to focus on this part of the screenshot and rephrase your answer based on it. So here the answer was, let's focus specifically on the group policy server infrastructure shown in this diagram, which illustrate how the group policy components work together in Active Directory. Let's break it, or each component. Computer types and the roles. Computer 1 houses administrative tools and extensions. This is the domain member. Maybe this is the IT computer, which is correct. It contains the administrative tools and extensions. Computer 2 domain controller contains the group policy server and data store. Computer 3 contains client-side extensions and group policy client, which is the member that will apply the group policies that is downloaded from the domain controller. Key components: administrative tools used for creating and managing GPOs from the domain member number 1. Group policy server, central processing unit for group policy. Group policy data store, database where all GPOs are stored. So this is the Active Directory database, the domain partition section, which contains the group policy objects. Okay. Then we have the client-side extensions components that interpret and apply policies. We have discussed what client-side extensions do exactly. Policy or group policy client software on end-user machines that receives and process policies. This is the core for group policies implementation, or the service that implements the group policy on the client side. If it's not working, then no group policies will be applied. Okay, real world scenario. Let's say you need to deploy a new security policy for password requirements. We have admin, computer one creates password policy using administrative tools, policy stored in group policy server, the domain controller, policy distributed to domain members like computer 3, client-side extensions apply the policy. So this is exactly what I was I hope the AI tools explain it in this in this uh, uh, in this order. Okay, common pitfalls in this infrastructure: database issues, mistake, not monitoring group policy data store size. Okay, he means here the Active Directory database size, even though I think it's large, and but here you should focus on the location of the database, where it is located on which partition, and focus on the free space on this partition. Okay, we have a recommendation say that we need to have at least 20% of the partition that has the operating system installed on it, to have it free, 20% free, so the operating system can work without any issues. As for the database of the Active Directory, I think there is some mechanism, maybe the group, the Active Directory database, when it reaches a certain size, maybe there is a warning or something, or it can create databases, other databases. I didn't see this solution, or didn't see this situation before. Okay, solution: regular maintenance and cleanup on unused GPOs. This is correct. Extension problems: mistake, missing or corrupted client-side extensions. If the extensions on the client side is not correct, okay, they will not know which part of the GPO will be applied to which part of the operating system. So this can disrupt, or the GPOs or part of it will not be implemented on the client side. Solution: verify proper installation of extensions on client machines. Even though I need to have some steps to do this, okay, if he give me a step-by-step or technical step-by-step to do all of these recommendations. Okay, replication issue: not considering DC replication when making changes. Solution: wait for replication between DCs before troubleshooting. Permission problems: mistake, incorrect permissions on GPO storage. Sometimes this happens on the Active Directory database partition. Maybe there is a problem with the permissions on the domain partition of the Active Directory database. Sometimes this happens. Ensure proper sysvol permission. This is also correct. If you don't have, or the users doesn't have the necessary permissions to go to the sysvol and download the GPOs, the group policy will not be applied. Okay, so best practices: infrastructure maintenance, regular backup the GPO group policy data store. This means you can backup the Active Directory database as a whole, and this can be done through backing up the system state of the domain controller, which contains the Active Directory database within it. Okay, so this is one thing we have discussed before in previous videos. Monitor group policy server performance. Okay, this can be through specialized programs or third party, or maybe through the performance monitor on the server, even though it's not that easy to play with. Okay, keep administrative tools updated. Deployment strategy: test policies in isolated OUs or test OUs. Use WI filter judiciously. Okay, so do not use it often. Monitor client-side extension logs. Okay, then there is some troubleshooting tools. DC diag test, check security groups. I think this to check the permissions on the Active Directory database. Test sysvol, think replication of the sysvol maybe. But there is another command for this. GPO tool verify, to verify verification. Is this a tool? I don't think so. or I didn't use it before. Check client-side processing. This is the HTML report for the group policies applied. Performance optimization, keep policies size manageably, use security filtering effectively, remove unused client-side extensions. For junior admins, think of this infrastructure like a restaurant. Computer 1 administrative tools is the chief kitchen where recipes, policies are created. Computer 2 group policy server, this is like the main kitchen where recipes are stored and prepared. Client 3 is the dining area where the prepared dishes policies are served. Okay. Uh, Key takeaways: understand this infrastructure is crucial because it helps you troubleshoot problems more effectively, design better policy deployment strategies, maintain a healthy AD environment, plan for scaling and redundancy. Remember, always maintain documentation of your group policy. This is a very, very good tip of your group policy infrastructure, including server roles and location, critical extension and use, backup procedures, emergency recovery plans. Okay, each one of these steps we can ask AI tool to give us step by step to do it or to implement it. Okay, so I already gone to ChatGPT and do the same. Ask it to include screenshot and explain it, and now explain the same thing as Claude. Okay, and even the same, maybe the same example. Okay, so he's giving us, for example, some some real world example, and one addition: DNS misconfiguration. You need to make sure your DNS is properly configured so the client can locate the domain controller to download the group policies. Okay, this is one thing. Overlapping policies, we have seen this before. So okay, this is what is exactly the way the group policies are applied, and this diagram we will have a lot of talking about it because it contains a lot of details. Okay, so if you go further and see the rest of the slides, here we can see, for example, this is one thing that is very good. Here we can see that these are or this is a command used to update group policies, okay, on the target computer, and there is a lot of values. If we need to, we will do something here. We will take all of these things and ask AI tools to explain it to us, or not explain it, because actually we can see, or we can feel it, or we can explain it by using a real world example. So let's go to ChatGPT and ask it something. First of all, we need to make this, or let's first get the prompt. I need the prompt to be like that. Design sets. Okay, this is the, let me get, this is the prompt to have an exercise to implement these. Okay, so we will have an exercise which is like a real world example, okay, to explain or let me see, I think okay, the exercise will be good so we can know exactly what are these commands used for. Design a set of hands-on exercise to teach this topic or this concept, this content. So let's put here the content. So we have already copied this one. Here we copy it, and then we go to ChatGPT and put it like that, and do like that. And we will take the same prompt. No, I need to get it from here. If you go there, so we will take where is the, we have already, let me see where, okay, here is the double quote. So we will control A, okay, then copy and go to put it at Claude. Now we will put it for ChatGPT. Now we can go to Claude and do the same. Here we go, we have all of these done. Let's put it like that. You have reached the limit, close me, please wait to try again. Okay, I think I have, okay, I have about 10 minutes. Okay, so we will wait. So this is the exercise. Let me see if he will explain it. Understanding the GP update. Okay, so here is giving examples to explain each one of these commands. Okay, so let's read it loudly to see how it will work.
Hands-on exercises to teach the syntax and usage of the Jeep update command. These exercises are designed to teach junior IT administrators how to use the Jeep update command effectively for group policy troubleshooting and application in a Windows Active Directory environment. Exercise 1. Understanding basic Jeep update command. Objective. Learn how to use the Jeep update command to apply updated group policy settings. Scenario. You have made changes to
Okay, seems to be a problem with the reading section, so we can do like this. And I don't know, I have errors with the read out section.
Exercise 1. Understanding basic pupdate command. Objective. Learn how to use the pupdate command to apply updated group policy settings. Scenario. You have made changes to a GPO to enforce a password complexity policy for the entire domain. Now you need to ensure that these changes are applied to a client computer. Instructions. Log into a domain join client computer. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the following command. Copy code. Pupdate. Wait for the command to complete and observe the output. Expected outcome. Group policy settings are updated for both the user and computer without requiring a reboot or log off. Verification. Open the local group policy editor on the client, petit.msc. Navigate to computer configuration, Windows settings, security settings, account policies, password policy, and verify the new settings are applied. Exercise 2. Using /target parameter. Objective. Understand how to update only user or computer policies. Scenario. A new desktop shortcut policy has been applied to user accounts in the Sales OU, but computer policies do not need to be updated. Instructions. Log into a client computer in the Sales OU. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the following command. Ruby. Copy code. Pupdate/target. User. Observe the output. Expected outcome. Only user policy settings are updated. Verification. Check the desktop for the new shortcut specified in the GPO. Verify that no computer settings, e.g., firewall rules, were updated. Exercise 3. Forcing all policies with /force. Objective. Learn how to reapply all policy settings, even if no changes have been made. Scenario. A user reports that their screensaver timeout setting is not being enforced, even though the policy is configured in the GPO. Force all policies to reapply. Instructions. Log into the affected client computer. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the following command. Copy code. Pupdate/force. Observe the output and ensure no errors are reported. Expected outcome. All policies, user and computer, are reapplied, overriding any cache settings. Verification. Check the screensaver timeout setting on the client to ensure it reflects the policy configuration. Exercise 4. Managing policy application timing with /wait. Objective. Control how long the system waits for group policy processing to complete. Scenario. You are troubleshooting slow policy processing on a client machine and want to reduce the wait time to 30 seconds. Instructions. Log in to the client computer. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the following command. SCSS. Copy code. Pupdate/wait 30. Observe the output. Note whether the system waits for 30 seconds before returning control to the prompt. Expected outcome. The command waits for 30 seconds before finishing, regardless of whether policy processing completes. Verification. Check the command prompt output to ensure the wait time was respected. Exercise 5. Using /logoff and /boot parameters. Objective. Understand when and how to use the /logoff and /boot parameters. Scenario. You've implemented a new folder redirection policy for user profiles and a software installation policy for computers. These require a logoff and reboot, respectively, to take effect. Instructions. For the folder redirection policy, log in to the client computer. Run the following command. Copy code. Pupdate/logoff. Log back in and observe the redirected folder location. For the software installation policy, run the following command. Copy code. Pupdata-boot. Restart the computer as prompted. Verify that the software is installed. Expected outcome. After the /logoff, folder redirection takes effect. After the /boot, the software is installed on the computer. Verification. Check the folder redirection path for the user's profile. Verify that the software specified in the GPO is installed. Exercise 6. Forcing synchronous policy application with /sync. Objective. Understand how to ensure the next foreground policy update is processed synchronously. Scenario. A critical GPO must be applied immediately during the next user logon or system startup to prevent non-compliance with security policies. Instructions. Log into a client computer. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the following command. Rust. Copy code. Pupdate/sync. Restart the computer or log off and log back in to trigger synchronous policy application. Expected outcome. The GPO is processed synchronously during the next logon/startup, ensuring all policies are applied. Verification. Log into the computer and verify the applied policies using bash. Copy code. gpresult par gpresult.html. Open the generated report to confirm the policy is applied. Bonus challenge. Automating Pupdate in a script. Objective. Write a script to automate GPO updates across multiple client computers. Scenario. You are tasked with ensuring that all domain-joined computers receive the latest policies after a major GPO update. Instructions. On a domain controller or admin workstation, create a PowerShell script. PowerShell. Copy code. $computers equals get a computer. Filter asterisk select object. Expand property name for each. $computer and $computers. Invoke command. Computer name $computer. Script block pupdate/force. Save the script as updateos.ps1. Run the script in PowerShell as an administrator. Expected outcome. The pupdate/force command is executed on all domain-joined computers. Verification. Log into a sample client machine and check the updated policies. Review the PowerShell execution log for errors. Required environment. Virtual lab with a domain controller. 2 or more domain-joined client machines. Administrative permissions. Installed tools. Active Directory users and computers, ADUC. PowerShell 5.1 or later. These exercises cover the basics of the pupdate command, troubleshooting, and advanced automation, giving junior IT administrators practical experience with real-world scenarios.
So here we can see these are all the options related to GP update, one of the most important commands used with the group policies. Okay, so we can see here I have already discussed all of the features using exercise examples, which is a good one. If you need to read what does each uh, command do, here you can see these are all uh, the explanation. But anyway, I think here the examples is clear and it already explains what is written here. If we go to Claude and see, okay, we have still about 2 minutes for it to return back. If we continue to the next slide, here is another command used by GPOs, which is the GP result, which is also a very, very important command to troubleshoot or troubleshooting group policy issues. Okay, so also we need to have examples concerning this topic, but here I will do something else. Here I will use it in a troubleshooting scenario or a security incident. Okay, so we have some security issues. Okay, and this we use this one to clarify or to see how we can solve a security issue concerning group policies using this command. So let's go to ChatGPT and give it a certain prompt, but before that let me go and get the prompt here, and I will just tell him cancel. Just a moment, here we go, we can go there and we can cancel or do like this. Okay, let's go and have another prompt for creating a security incident and solve it using this command. So here uh, let me go and get the prompt. Where is the prompt? No, this is not the prompt. If you go there for the troubleshoot, okay, we can have an exercise. Where is this exercise? Okay, not exercise, the incident. Here you go, this is the incident. Okay, okay, to prepare, okay, analyze. Okay, so here you go, this is the prompt I need. Okay, we need to have a security incident and use these, or use it to describe uh, these commands for the GP result. So here is the case, and we will go and change this topic. Okay, or this, okay, this topic we will put like this, double quote, and go to there and copy, and then let's go and put it in ChatGPT. Here you go, Control V, and then put double quote, and let's see, Control A, Control C. Let's see if he will give us a good example to clarify these commands one by one. So this is a long case. Okay, but here I think this example didn't list all of the things I need here. Okay, it didn't explain. Okay, we can use it, but let me put something else. We will use the prompt for exercise So this case we will discuss it, but before that we need to have an exercise to explain all of these, because I think the case didn't list all of the things I need. So here I think I can go and get the prompt for the next time or for the second time. Here you go, we can cancel, and then I can go and get the exercise prompt. Okay, here you go, there is the exercise prompt. So we can go like that and edit, Control A, Control C. Then we can go to ChatGPT and then give it the same prompt. This topic, okay, related to Active Directory, okay, so that topic we can go and put the things here, okay, Control C, okay, and put it there, Control V and put it like this, and we can make like, okay, I think I can wait for this one, okay, not Control A, okay, so we can put like that and see the answer. So we will explain the commands one by one, and then we'll have the security incident exercise. Okay, so this is normal exercise and the security incident exercise, how we can use GP result to solve security issues concerning the GPO. So we have basic exercises. Okay, let's see until he finishes. Okay, all of them. So let's first see how much parameters here in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's see if he will describe all of these. So we have uh, the system, then username and password, then scope, then user or target user, R, V, Z, X, and H, and file name. So let's see the answer of ChatGPT concerning explaining these topic, okay, or these examples. Okay.
ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. Hands-on exercises for pre-salt command. These exercises teach junior IT administrators how to effectively use the pre-salt command. Hands-on exercises for pre-salt command. These exercises teach junior IT administrators how to effectively use the pre-salt command to troubleshoot and analyze group policy objects, GPOs, in Active Directory environments. Exercise 1. Basic use of pre-salt. Objective. Learn to display the resultant set of policy, RSOP, information for the local computer and the currently logged-in user. Scenario. You need to check which group policies are applied to a user experiencing issues with folder redirection. Instructions. Log into a domain-joined computer as the affected user. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the command. Copy code. Review the output to see the applied user and computer policies. Expected outcome. The command outputs a summary of applied group policies for both the user and the computer. Verification steps. Verify the output includes the GPO responsible for folder redirection. Confirm no denied GPOs are listed for this user. Exercise 2. Filtering with /scope. Objective. Understand how to filter RSOP results to display only user or computer policies. Scenario. You want to confirm which computer-level policies are applied to a workstation. Instructions. Log in to the affected computer. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the command ruby copy code presult/scope computer/r. Observe the output, which now only includes computer policies. Expected outcome. The output lists only the computer-level policies applied to the system. Verification steps. Ensure the user-level policies are excluded from the output. Confirm the listed policies match those configured for the computer in the Group Policy Management Console, GPMC. Exercise 3. Remote System Query. Objective. Learn to query the RSOP of a remote computer. Scenario. A user on a remote workstation is experiencing issues with GPO settings. You need to analyze their applied policies without physical access. Instructions. From your admin workstation, open command prompt as an administrator. Run the command JavaScript copy code presult/s remote computer name /u domain /admin user /p password /r replace. Remote computer name with the name of the remote computer. Domain /admin user with your admin credentials. Password with the admin password. Review the output for applied policies. Expected outcome. The RSOP for the remote computer is displayed in the console. Verification steps. Verify the remote system's computer and user policies are displayed. Confirm no errors about connectivity or permissions are shown. Exercise 4. Saving RSOP reports. Objective. Learn to save RSOP results as an HTML or XML file for documentation or further analysis. Scenario. You are asked to document the applied GPOs for a computer and save the results in an HTML file. Instructions. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the command Arduino copy code presult/hc:/reports/gpresult.html. Navigate to the specified folder c:/reports and open the file in a browser. Expected outcome. The RSOP results are saved as a detailed HTML report. Verification steps. Confirm the file exists in the specified location. Open the file and verify it contains detailed GPO information. Exercise 5. Using verbose and superverbose options. Objective. Understand the differences between /v, verbose, and /z, superverbose, output. Scenario. You need to troubleshoot a specific GPO setting that is not being applied correctly and need detailed precedence information. Instructions. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the verbose command. Copy code. Run the superverbose command. Copy code. Compare the outputs to understand the level of detail provided by each. Expected outcome. The /v output includes detailed information about applied GPOs. The /z output provides a breakdown of all policy settings and precedents. Verification steps. Confirm the /v output includes the applied settings in detail. Verify that the /z output includes additional precedence information for conflicting settings. Exercise 6. Troubleshooting with Presult. Objective. Use Presult to diagnose a group policy issue. Scenario. A user complains that their mapped network drives are not appearing. You suspect a GPO setting is not being applied correctly. Instructions. Log in to the user's computer. Open command prompt as an administrator. Run the command SQL copy code presult/user domain /username /or replace domain /username with the affected user's account. Check the output for the map drives policy. If the GPO is not listed, check for denied policies or filters using copy code. Expected outcome. The output identifies whether the map drives policy is applied. Any denied policies or filters are displayed. Verification steps. Confirm whether the map drives GPO appears in the results. Investigate denied policies or incorrect filters as needed. Bonus challenge. Automating GPO reports. Objective. Automate the process of collecting and saving RSOP reports from multiple computers. Scenario. You are tasked with generating HTML reports for all workstations in a specific OU. Instructions. Create a PowerShell script. PowerShell. Copy code. $computers equals getID filter asterisk, search base, OU equals workstations, DC equals domain, DC equals com, select object. Expand property name for each, $computer and $computers. Invoke command, computer name $computer. Script block pre-sol /hc:\reports\gpresult.html. Save the script as generate GPO reports.ps1. Run the script in PowerShell as an administrator. Expected outcome. HTML reports are generated for each computer in the specified OU. Verification steps. Verify that each computer has a corresponding HTML file in the specified folder. Open a sample report and confirm the RSOP information is correct. Required environment. A virtual lab with a domain controller, 2 domain-joined client machines, admin workstation with PowerShell and GPMC installed. Basic knowledge of Active Directory and administrative permissions. These exercises build from basic to advanced, focusing on practical use cases, troubleshooting scenarios, and automation techniques with pre-salt.
So this is a very, very good explanation about all of these parameters. We have discussed them all. Okay, X and H, F. But here I think he didn't discuss the force to overwrite. If you are exporting an HTML or XML, F will overwrite the existing file if you have already run these 2 commands before. We have seen the H command, the X, the user, the scope, the computer, P and U and S, and V and Z. So we have seen all of the parameters, and this is for displaying the help message. But let's see the incident or the security incident, how we can use GPResult to solve security incidents, maybe a hack process or something. Let's go and see how this is done. So here you go, this is an exercise. Here you go, let's go and see the answer. Here you go.
Incident response, tabletop exercise simulation. Scenario overview. A potential security incident has occurred in your Active Directory environment. Initial alerts suggest unusual activity involving privileged accounts and changes to group policy objects, GPOs. Your task is to analyze the situation, identify the scope of the compromise, and respond appropriately. Phase 1. Identification. Initial alerts and logs. You, Junior IT Admin, receive the following. Security monitoring alerts. Unusual login activity detected for the privileged account domain /admin1 from an external IP 192.168.50.23. Multiple failed login attempts followed by a successful one within seconds. Domain /admin1 was used to modify a group policy object, restricted access policy, at 3:12 a.m. Windows security logs, excerpts. YAML. Copy code. Event ID. 4625 failed login account name. Domain /admin1 workstation name. WS. External 01 source IP. 192.168.50.23 logon type. 3 failure reason. Unknown username or bad password. Event ID 4672. Special privileges assigned to new logon. Account name. Domain /admin 1 logon type. 2 privileges. Say security privilege. Say take ownership privilege. Event ID 5136. Directory service changes. Object modified. Group policy container attribute changed. Security filtering modified by domain /admin 1 time. 3:12 a.m. Alert from SIEM. Suspicious GPO changes detected. Restricted access policy was updated to allow access to all domain users. Your tasks: analyze the provided information and identify potential indicators of compromise, IOCs. Formulate an initial hypothesis about the nature and scope of the incident. Junior IT admin's response. Analysis of information. Indicators of compromise, IOCs. Unusual login activity. Privileged account, domain /admin 1 accessed from an external IP, 192.168.50.23, which is not part of the internal network. Multiple failed login attempts indicate possible brute force or credential stuffing. Unauthorized GPO changes. Security filtering of the restricted access policy was modified to give domain-wide access. Initial hypothesis. The privileged account domain /admin 1 was likely compromised via brute force or phishing. The attacker used this account to modify a GPO to escalate access across the domain. The external IP, 192.168.50.23, suggests the attacker is operating from outside the network. Senior IT Minter's feedback. Evaluation of findings. Good observations. You correctly identified suspicious login activity and its connection to the external IP. Recognizing the unauthorized GPO changes as a privilege escalation vector is accurate. Missed details. You didn't consider the time of the activity, 3:12 a.m., as unusual behavior for an admin account. Overlooked the implications of say take ownership privilege being assigned, which could allow the attacker to manipulate additional AD objects. Revealed case study findings. The account domain /admin 1 was indeed compromised using stolen credentials obtained via phishing. The attacker created a backdoor in AD by modifying GPOs to retain persistent access. Tools and techniques used. Presult. Used to collect and analyze resultant set of policies, RSOP, to confirm GPO changes. Command. SQL. Copy code. Presult /r/user domain /admin1 presult.txt. Verified that the modified GPO had been applied to unauthorized accounts. PowerShell. Queried AD logs and GPOs for unusual activity. PowerShell. Copy code. Get event log. Log name security. Instance ID 5136. Message. * group policy *. Phase 2. Containment, eradication, and recovery. Scenario progression. You are tasked with containing the threat, eradicating the attacker's access, and recovering from the incident. Options for containment. Disable the domain /admin1 account immediately. Remove the malicious GPO changes. Isolate the affected workstation, WS, external 01, from the network. Junior IT admin's response. Chosen action. Disable the domain /admin1 account to prevent further abuse of the compromised credentials. Justification. This action immediately cuts off the attacker's access using the privileged account. Senior IT Minter's feedback. Evaluation. Disabling the account is a valid first step to contain the attacker. However, this action alone does not mitigate the changes already made to the GPO or ensure that the attacker cannot regain access using other compromised accounts. Best practice. Take a multi-pronged approach. Disable the account domain /admin1. Use Presult and PowerShell to identify all affected users and computers. Roll back unauthorized GPO changes immediately. Actual steps taken. Disabled the compromised account. PowerShell. Copy code. Disable AD account, identity, domain, /admin1. Restore the original GPO settings using a backup. PowerShell, copy code. Import GPO, backup ID, path / backup path. Isolated WS, external 01 from the network. Scenario progression. After containment, you are tasked with eradicating the attacker's persistence and recovering the environment. Options for eradication and recovery. Reset the password for all privileged accounts. Audit all GPOs for unauthorized changes. Enable logging for all privileged account activities. Junior IT admin's response. Chosen action. Audit all GPOs to ensure no further malicious changes are present. Justification. The attacker could have modified other GPOs for persistence. Senior IT mentor's feedback. Evaluation. Auditing GPOs is a critical step to identify further malicious activity. However, resetting privileged account passwords should also be prioritized to eliminate credential-based persistence. Actual steps taken. Reset all privileged account passwords. Enabled group policy auditing to monitor future changes. PowerShell. Copy code. Audipole /set /subcategory. Policy change /success. Enable /failure. Enable. Performed a full GPO audit using Pre-Salt and PowerShell. Final reflection and lessons learned. Critical thinking. Ensure all potential attack vectors are considered during containment. Incident response procedures. Containment must address all immediate threats, including compromised accounts, GPO changes, and affected systems. Recovery involves auditing for persistence mechanisms and ensuring robust monitoring is in place. Practical takeaway. Use tools like Pre-Salt and PowerShell to streamline analysis and incident resolution in Active Directory. This exercise demonstrates a real-world approach to identifying, containing, and resolving security incidents in AD while enhancing decision-making and technical skills.
So this is a very, very good example, okay, or a security incident. So I think we will stop at this slide, okay. I think this is how the group policy report will look, okay. You will see a lot of info, and here we see there is the computer configuration section of the group policy and the user configuration section of the group policy. If we go further, we will stop at this so we can see how the group policy is implemented, or the phases. We have already discussed this today, but we will discuss this in details in the upcoming video. Hope this video is informative to you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.